answer. You doing something I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do this.
Girl, every time I get on the daggone Facebook, every Thursday, the first 2 or 3 minutes is me trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing and how I'm supposed to be doing it.
I
So
got you.
I'm on it now. I think that we are live on my, yep, we are live now.
Wow.
So I'm going to share it from my Wellness on the Go page. I'm sharing it to my personal page. Okay, so now it's on my business page and it's on my personal page. And I think you should be able to share it from either one of
Okay.
those pages now.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
All right, so let's
Mess
get this
that up.
party started. First and foremost, for anybody who's tuning in to either one of the pages, the Wellness on the Go page or my personal page, it's me, Toya. Welcome to our Thursday evening heart work, where we talk about homework for the heart. It's an opportunity for me to spotlight my dope ass friends and all the stuff that they're doing to heal and provide goodness and wellness to the community. Before we get into my very special guest, I want to do a little bit of sponsorship because you know your girl is getting a little big time on you, so I got a sponsor or two. Okay.
All
First
right.
thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about most of you know that I am an independent pamper chef consultant. Right now, until the end of January, we're offering a 25% discount for anyone who's interested in the kitchen, what I call kitchen power tools. So I have a blender. I don't know if you guys know, I have a deluxe cooking blender where I can use it to make soup. It's fabulous. I have an air fryer, and I don't have the Instapot or the quick cooker as we call it, but you can get our version of the Instapot, which is the quick cooker. All of those are going to be 25% off until Sunday, which is the 31st. So you want to go to my link, shop, get 25% off. The other thing I'm most excited about for the sponsorship is I just became a brand ambassador for a beauty company here in the upstate called Working Girl. We're in the beginning phases of launching what we call the journey of the Working Girl. And I want to make sure that y'all, you know, like and share and comment and be a part of it. So we have a deal. We have a deal. Our first deal, y'all. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So anyway, I talked to Deborah, the owner, this morning, and I told her that my absolute favorite product so far, because it's a ton of products, is the body butter. Now, a lot of my friends make stuff. I ain't got time to be in the bathroom putting stuff together, making and stirring. I ain't got time for that. So, you know, we have a body butter. And this body butter, now I think I told Deborah that I had the shea butter with the cocoa butter. I actually have the shea butter with the olive oil. Regardless, I want you guys to go to the Working Girl site for the next probably week or so. Anybody who goes to the Working Girl site and orders them a 16-ounce bottle of shea butter body butter is gonna get 20% off. You hear me? 20% off, y'all. Just
So
cause
you get
we
that.
feeling nice and generous. So go to workinggirl.com. Myself and my baby girl are brand ambassadors for all the products. And for the next week or so, you can get 20% off the 16-ounce bottle of shea butter body oil. Now, the one that I want you to click on is the shea butter and which one? The shea butter and ooh, God, I forgot which one it was. I didn't say it just that
Did you
quick.
say olive? You
No,
said
not the olive oil
olive
one.
oil.
It was the
It's a
shea butter coconut butter. The
coconut
shea
butter.
butter
Okay.
coconut butter. That's the one that you can get 20% off. Okay.
Okay.
So the first person who takes a picture of their body butter and sends it to me is gonna get something special.
All right
Okay.
then. We like gifts.
Girl, listen. Look, we like free stuff, don't
We
we?
do.
We
We
like
do.
discounts and we like free 99.
Yeah.
So anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, y'all, I got a special guest today. I say that every week, don't I? I say I got a special guest, but I
Yeah.
do. I got a special guest today who I'm so excited to have on the show. And I'm so excited to talk about the thing that makes me feel like I'm famous. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But I really want to introduce you to my sister from another mister. I call her My May. This is Malaekia Scott. Welcome to HEARTWORK, May.
Thank you. I'm here.
I'm so glad you are here. The hair is
Yes,
on 10. She got a whole mind of her own.
she does.
That melanin is popping.
Thank
Them teeth are just all just bright. Girl, you was doing it tonight, child.
you. Thank you. I feel all right for a Thursday.
I know that's right. So tell people who might not know you, tell them who you are and what it is that you do.
Oh, I feel like I'm in an interview for real.
Yes, girl. Listen, I'm serious, child. Make you feel like you
Yes.
we're gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, just as Toya said, I'm Malaekia Scott. I'm from little small town, Levelland, South Carolina. So shout out to my family out there. And I am currently in Duluth, Georgia. I'm working for the state of Georgia as a social work consultant. So mostly working with youth in foster care, really just focus on their mental health, behavioral concerns. And let's see, what else can I tell you? Of course, I say I'm a social worker, a licensed master social worker, working towards my full licensures in social work. So invested in myself. Gotta have some money to do that. So I'm doing that.
Okay.
Fully licensed. Let's see what else. And silent speak. That's my baby. So it's mostly just me really focused on advocacy, prevention, psychosocial education on mental health, really getting that information out to us, our people, really taking it seriously. And just whenever you need to visit my IG page is Silent Speaks Back. You can get some information there. I also am really dedicated to what I've been doing is a calendar, and that's focused on different mental health concerns and just personal development. So yeah, you can check that out on Shopify. I guess I could put some of that information in comments if
Yes, ma'am.
you want to check that out. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me, and I'm the oldest of four.
The
So
oldest of four. The oldest of four. So, okay. So I like to always ask my friends, whoever pop up, how did we meet? So, because I think it's interesting to hear other people's perspective. Most of the time when I ask the question, I don't really remember how I met the person, but I know how we met. But I want you to tell your version of how we met and how we got to be, the closest of friends.
all right. Well, we met. I can't remember the year. I should remember the year, but I know I was still living in South Carolina then.
Mhm.
And my sister Shay, she was of course pledging for SG Row, and I met Toya at the restaurant. She was there. Just wait, you were actually the first person there. I think you were, and of course my sister always late, so we were there to surprise her. And I got to talking to Toya, and I want to say we may have asked for each other's birthdays, and I was like, "Oh, you are Aries." I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna like you, girl." So
And we knew instantly.
instantly, I was like, "Okay, we got a good connection here. The conversation flowed really easily. We just had a good time. Then we kind of linked up from there, and then anytime we talk, we be like, all right, it's gonna be 30 minutes. We know that's a lie. And we
Right.
like 3,
Both
4
say that.
hours.
Oh wow, what time we was in the mall? I think it was in the Anderson Mall. Were we in there for like 5 hours?
We were about 5 hours at the food court just talking. So, that's what we do. That's what we do. Yeah. I think and the last time you were here in Duluth, we had a
Yep,
pretty
I came and
long
visited you.
conversation.
And I
Um,
was there. I was at your house all day, wasn't I?
you really, yes, yes, with that fried rice, we ate
Oh
on
yeah.
that all day.
Oh yeah. It was good too.
That was good. That
We
was
ended up
good.
having like a late breakfast and then it transitioned into lunch and then an early dinner. And I was like,
That's
I got to
it.
go. You was
But
like,
that's
well, you
when
can
you know
sleep on
you
the
in good
couch if you want
company.
to.
Right.
But that's how we do. So you are one of the one. Well, I love everybody. I meet people. And I'm like, oh, I love this person. But you're one of the few people. When I was like, I love you, you were like, I love you too. And it's been a love fest ever since. I think one of the things I love most about you is your commitment to Black people and our mental health.
Mhm.
So that's something that's a real hot topic in the Black community because you know how we are.
Yes.
I remember growing up and you didn't go see, I didn't even know what a therapist was till I joined the military, to be honest. You either you either smoked or you drank, really. I mean,
Right.
that was how we dealt with, that was how the older folks dealt with stress and anxiety. And, it wasn't until I joined the military, I realized that some of them are smoking away their anxiety. They're
Mhm.
drinking away their anxiety. So what made you decide to be a social worker, focusing
Ooh.
on the wellness of Black people?
Well, you know what? That I really say a lot of times with social work, I definitely think, it chose me
Yeah.
because it's kind of like one of those things I think about, what else would I be doing? And I'm like,
Hmm.
I probably would just be a social worker. But
Right.
what really, I guess, led me to, deciding to be a social worker was, of course, your own life experiences, how you grow up, your own environments around you. But I always had just an interest in, how people think, what people do. And I think just the women in your family, a lot of times you see how helpful they are, but also at the same time how they can be detrimental to our
Hmm.
mental health.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I know I've been talking a lot about boundaries, and just having boundaries, lack of. So I think that's what really led me to just saying, what would I really be interested in doing? How can I make this out of a career? So I decided, which we didn't really have those opportunities at our high school to study like psychology or any of that. So when I went to Anderson University for undergrad, that's what I studied in school. Initially, I wanted to do human services. They didn't have that program at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do the psychology route. But I always just felt this passion for just education too,
Yeah.
on that side of, just mental health. So yeah, that's what led me to it. And then I have a brother also who has a disability. So that was just seeing him growing up and seeing some of his challenges, but also some of the things he's really overcome. That just really made me be like, this is where I'm needed. And I think I've made a pretty good choice. Some days I'm like, woo, I'm ready to retire.
Well, you've had a tough career, I guess. I mean, just the type of work that you do. First off, how long you been a social worker?
Okay, so I've been a social worker now going on, will be 6 years in May. Oh my goodness. So 5 years, almost six.
Now you look like you 12. You
No,
you look like a baby.
I know. I know. I mean, the gray hair kind of give it away. I'm a little bit
No, it
older.
don't. No, no,
It
don't even
don't.
try. No, no, ma'am.
No, it don't work.
It sure don't. No.
Yeah, but yes, I've been a social worker about 5 years. Yeah.
Okay. And I know in Anderson, were you working with people who were transitioning, about to pass away? You were doing hospice care, which is
Yeah.
heavy work.
Yes, heavy work. So I did hospice for about 2 years. And yes, definitely emotionally heavy work. But at the same time, I really enjoyed doing that work because I did
Yeah.
a lot of life review with my clients. So a lot of times they would just really talk about what they may have not resolved and maybe some things that they wanted to see, well, see in their families before they know they would transition. But
Hmm.
I really enjoyed just, and as odd as it sound, it was interesting to kind of see the stages, that a person went through, just from, them being able to communicate with you very independent, and then all of a sudden you're really, really focused on just making this person comfortable.
Hmm.
Um, Going in playing music that they like, or just sitting there reading to them, and just doing things like that. And it really, for me, I think the lesson for me was learning acceptance. Like, you know what? Some things you really just have to accept. And I would see, of course, we see those 7 stages of grief a lot of times in your
Yeah.
clients, but also the families that you work with too. But you get so close to the people you work with. So you definitely have to find that, that line there where you pretty much like, okay, let me just be the social worker, but also be empathetic to what's going on. But some days I really do miss it. But it was definitely heavy work to be
Well,
doing.
you can say you miss it now. I know at the end you was like, I'm tired, I'm burnt out, I'm ready to go.
Yes,
And
I
then
was.
you dived into working with teenage people, young people.
Right, right. I went back to it because when I first graduated from grad school, I was working for the mental health department for South Carolina, and I was working with teenagers and middle school kids doing mental health therapy. So people was like, "Girl, you crazy?" I was
You
like, "Must be."
man,
Working with these kids, but they, again, the beauty in that was the honesty for the kids. You not
mm,
gonna be as them. So if you want to be in there not being authentic, they gonna see right through that.
right.
So that was definitely a lesson for me. But I really got to, learn some skills working with those kids for real. But shout out to some of my kids, so they doing great.
Good, good. Now,
Yeah.
what? Before we get to the work, what grad school did you go to?
Clark Atlanta University.
Okay, because the big thing now is our vice president went to a HBCU, so there's a big focus on HBCUs, and for some of us, it's always been a focus on HBCUs. Make no doubt about
Right.
it, we always been about that Black college life. But now there's a big focus on HBCUs. Matter of fact, one of the organizations that I'm volunteering with right now, Upstate Circle of Friends, is having a HBCU event in conjunction with the Urban League. So
All
I
right.
always want to shout out the people who went to a HBCU. I was in the military, so I did not have a chance to go to college the traditional way. So I just like to hear stories so I can live vicariously through y'all to a HBCU. So shout out to Clark Atlanta University.
Yes, yes to the Panthers. That's
Um,
right. The best
so
decision I could have
before
ever
we
made.
before we get into your calendar, I want to ask you, working especially in Georgia with the youth, do you see a big a large amount of Black and brown teens that come through the system that you're working with, or is it equal opportunity? All the families just got all kinds of mess going on.
Woo! So with the state of Georgia, the areas that I cover is mostly like North Georgia.
Okay.
We have social workers and licensed professional counselors, and we all cover just the state of Georgia, but assigned to specific regions. So I would say with the kids that I see in my region, there's probably a mixture of Black and brown children that you see in the system, and most of the time when you see that, it's because the lack of services in those areas. Because now we know mental health, it used to be, oh, you just send somebody to a facility and they're gonna stay. but we've moved away from that, and it's more about what community-based resources are out there so that the child can be treated in their environment. The family can also get that treatment as well. But then when you see most of these kids who are coming into foster care, a lot of it is because systematic issues, of course, but also just the lack of resources, a lot of the times. But of course, defects. Unfortunately, I think it's almost been a culture of, if you can't handle your kids, you
Mm.
and we know with, any DSS defect services is supposed to be used for those who have been abused or neglected. But I think just over the years it's changed a lot. And that was kind of the reason why Georgia started this unit that I'm working with, and it's based on what they call the Families First Act. Um and and I think I've looked up some stuff in South Carolina, but mostly just focused on Georgia now. But it's really, really just to prevent kids from coming into foster care. And there's real
Oh.
health services and things that can be put into place.
So, okay, we talked about community services. When I was growing up, wasn't no community mental health clinic nowhere. Nowhere. There was all
Mhm.
kinds of shit going on in our neighborhood, but wasn't no community mental health clinic. So what kind of services? So this is a heart work show. So
Right.
the idea is for people who are watching who might not know that there are Black people who are in these streets doing wellness work, or that there are resources for us. I want them to be able to know and then do some research on their own, or find you or someone else that can connect them. Where do we find mental health help? I mean, if somebody is struggling, think they might be getting ready to lose their kids, think they might have a problem with drugs or alcohol, or not even that. Let's not even get that dramatic. Let's get with that regular everyday stuff. 2020
Right.
for some people was a pretty significant, a pretty powerful year for significant life events. I'll say that. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
for those people who really struggled, and I went through about a depression myself. Yeah, I just went through the whole, like, I don't know why I'm so sad, but I'm
Mhm.
sad just for sadness sake.
Mhm.
Where would somebody who's going through a sadness or some anxiety around COVID, or around Black Lives Matter, or around, the attack on the Capitol, like if people are feeling anxiety or depression, where in the community can they go for help?
Well, definitely here in Georgia, I always say you got to start with your local community service boards. That's what they call them here in Georgia. So in South Carolina, it would just be your mental health department. You want to start local anywhere, especially if we're talking about rural areas with transportation barriers. You want to start there. So start there, looking at the services that are offered. So a lot of times you're looking at individual therapy, is their family therapy. You're looking at those things. What I've come to kind of learn just in this position, which I didn't really know much about, when I was working for the Department of Mental Health in South Carolina, was about intensive family interventions. So that's where it's kind of like you come in, you have a worker that works with the family, so you can kind of prevent crisis
Mhm.
occurring. And and a lot of times with those services, that's something that we will say, hey, have we considered this, so that we don't have to have this child out of their home, with their family, and the family can get that service right there in their home. So I always say start locally. Everything now is kind of going to mental health now because of COVID. So a lot of stuff is being done virtually. Another favorite of mine, if you use a directory through Therapy for Black Girls, you can always use that tool to find a therapist. I mean, everybody and their mama on there pretty much. And
Because we all need therapy. That's why.
we all need it. I know psychology.com is another tool I would use too, just to go on there and look for therapists. Of course, we be going in there typing in black therapist.
Right.
Just so you have that, where that rapport is built easily. So that's where I say to start. And I know if you do have a trusted friend, a lot of times just even talking with them, if they are there to help you make that phone call or set up that, you know, visit assessment, have them there. Sometimes we
Yeah.
do need people to hold our hand. And for those that, my college students, visit your resource center. A lot of times it's right there on campus, but students aren't aware of that. I think that was one big thing I loved about my internship at Morehouse College was the counseling resource center. They have those services there for you to get, you know, therapy. Some students come in there for other things. It might be pertaining to just accommodations for schoolwork, time management skills. So all of those things. So college students definitely check out, you know, your resource centers.
Okay. So there's a couple of things I want to touch on. One, you keep saying the T word, and you know Black folks don't do the T word. You know we don't do therapy. Come on now.
I feel like us millennials are like, we going. Like having a therapist now is like an accessory. You tell
See,
people.
I'm a Generation Xer. So
Right.
Generation X, Xers and Boomers, we ain't going to no damn therapist.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I guess with that, it's almost explaining what you might be able to get out of it. I guess it is trying to make people buy into that it's
Right.
beneficial a lot of times. And I know for a lot of us, we like, oh, we just gonna talk to our friends, we gonna go to church and we just gonna leave it there, you
Honey, when I
know?
was going through, everybody in my circle was going through something. I can't call you and be like, May, girl, I'm sad. You can be like, girl, I'm sad too. We all
Exactly.
sad, you know? I think
Everybody
that I
said.
think that sometimes we forget about pastoral counseling, going to the church counselor. If that's your thing, we forget about EAP programs. When I was working
Mm-hmm.
at Goodwill, we had a robust EAP program. It was a whole company set aside to do mental health coaching, and to get people, or to do psychoeducation, which is
Yeah.
basically, teaching people how to manage the stuff that they're going through in more of a
Right.
preventive way. So, and also I think that you mentioned, would you say Black girls do therapy or Black girls go to therapy?
What did I say? Now I forgot that quick. What did I say to
Girl, I'm
direct?
doing the same thing. I just be saying stuff, child. I don't know what I be
Therapy
saying.
for Black girls.
Therapy
Dr.
for Black
Joy.
girls.
She's actually here in Georgia. So she
Okay.
has a podcast too, different topics. I listen to her. So yeah, using
And
that. But I'm glad you asked that question. Like, how do you get people to buy into doing that? And I think for me, it it really just depends on the person that you're talking to.
yeah.
Presenting it in a way that'll make them say, okay. And I will say, I don't know if that sounds um biased or anything, but if it's a male, usually I'm like, look, it's solution focused.
Hmm.
Solution focused. If
Yeah.
you can find somebody that pretty much says, hey, I specialize in this, maybe you can get males to kind of say, hey, I'll check that out. For a lot of our Black women, it's like we really probably had a breakdown and we like, all right, it's time to go. Right. What else is there to do?
Well,
Yeah.
and my thing was I worked in the mental health field for 17 years in the military, right? I
Mhm.
was a drug and alcohol counselor. So I was like, I know the signs. I know what depression and anxiety, and I know I got a whole toolkit over here.
Right.
But it didn't matter. I needed somebody outside of myself. And I think you're right, because I don't think you could have convinced me to go to therapy. I had to say, okay, you know what, I need a therapist, because something just ain't right. Like Keith Sweat say, something just ain't right. I just need to
Right.
get it together. So I think knowing what the resources are, I'm fortunate enough to know a lot of community resources, and I got a lot of dope ass friends. Like half of y'all are, yoga teachers and therapists and counselors, and all. So these are the kind of people who I know and trust, and I see y'all doing great things. So I'm like, oh, if May is a social worker, it's a sister with an afro doing social work.
Yeah.
I can go to social
Yeah.
work. You know what I'm saying? But I also think
Exactly.
it's important to educate us about different resources. And we have Black Minds in Meditation. Daphne Fuller is a counselor. I'm gonna try to get her on one of these HEARTWORKs, but
Okay.
she's dope, and she combines her wellness with the counseling piece. There's just so many resources. I wish I had, if I had been smart, you know what I'd done? I'd have wrote out a list for y'all. I'd have
Let's
written it all
go.
down. I'd have posted it by now. But see, I didn't think about it till just now.
Yes, yes. See, we'll have to get us a resource list going.
We do. Well,
Definitely.
let's talk about resources. I want to
Yeah.
talk about Silent Speaks.
Okay.
Because when you first told me about Silent Speaks, I think I was intrigued by the name, really.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Silent Speaks? It does, doesn't it? What does
It
it say?
it does. A lot of times you don't say nothing. There's a lot of words in there. Not
Yeah.
saying anything, just seeing people's actions. Um, you to disappear while you ain't coming to the functions. Silence speaks. So I really just really like that name, and it is always stuck around. And I think even just thinking about myself just growing up, because I know I've been pretty open about my own journey and just experience with depression and anxiety. But even for people who experience anxiety, your mind is constantly running. You might not say anything, but you're in your
Mhm.
thoughts. A lot of times, and then you that can kind of manifest in your behaviors and what you do, and then all of a sudden you over here in the corner crying, and people like, what's
Stop
going
telling
on?
all my business. First off, stop telling all my business. Okay.
Yes, I mean, I'm a crybaby. I do. I cry, and sometimes it's just you done held that in too long. Okay, let's let that go. But
Right.
yeah, silent speak, it just stuck with me. I think it really resonates with times like these, where people, like you said, they find that trusted person. They've been so quiet for so long about what's been bothering them, and when they finally do open up, it's like, woo, that's all I needed to do was to
Mhm.
make that first step and open up. And now it's kind of like, what do I do from there? We always know the first step is the hardest,
It
always.
is. Admitting that I
Always.
was depressed, ooh, that was hard, child. Actually, no, it's a tie. So I'll tell you what it was for me. Admitting that I was depressed and then telling my friends that I was depressed.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like people were like, but Toya, you're so you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
how are you depressed? And I even had to tell one friend of mine who was like, "No, Toya, not you. Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Don't do that." See, this is why people don't. This is why people don't talk about their depression,
Right.
anxiety, because we, especially Black women, I think, have this weight of we have to be strong women.
Right. Right.
I don't want to live under that trope anymore. I don't want to be a strong. Strong is overrated.
Thank you. I want to throw that out because I'm gonna cry.
Right. And you're gonna get these tears and you're gonna get these emotions and you're gonna get me crying in the corner,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I love the silent speaks. And I think you started, I don't remember if it was a blog or a Facebook blog, or that's kind of how you started with putting just kind of, I think, your thoughts and feelings out.
Mhm.
And then it's
Yeah.
kind of morphed.
Yeah, it has. It has. And I always say it all started from me just writing as a kid, using my journal as an outlet. That was where I could go and put my thoughts and words on paper. So I really think I'm like, okay, how can I do this? And I really did struggle with putting that information out there, because I think we've talked about it before, the whole imposter syndrome. People might expose you and you think you don't know what you're talking about, but you really know what you're talking about.
Right.
So I
You be
think that,
knowing.
yeah, you'll be knowing. It's just having that confidence and just putting it out there. So in 2017 was when I really, was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start putting my ideas out there. I'm going to start talking about what I'm doing in my line of work, because I know I'm not the only one that's dealing with this, being a social worker and, taking on things with your client, but you also over here too. You like, girl, you need to go talk to somebody too. Yeah, you might need to go check on that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it, and I'll tell you, and I gotta tell everybody who's watching. And the people don't know about this calendar now. When I saw that calendar, I said, "Girl, is look at this. Do you have it with you?"
I do. I do have it
So
with me.
here's what made me feel like a true, because so last year, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, last year, well, I think it was last year, May said, I think I was just saying, and Joe, my name need to be on this calendar. I was like, oh, why my name not up here? You know when my birthday is. We Aries. You gotta put my name in this calendar. But I was half joking, right? Y'all,
Right.
I know my name is in the calendar this
It
year.
is. It made it, girl. You made it over. That's right. That's
Listen, I feel like I'm somebody, child. Because only people who are important get their name on the calendar, right?
that's it. The important people.
If your name is on the calendar, you have arrived. Y'all
That's
didn't
it.
know?
You
I
right.
arrived.
And you've inspired me. So I gotta put people in there. You got to. You got to. I have to go get the calendar off the wall. If you want me to show it,
Yes, I want you to show that calendar. You know I love that calendar.
let me go on and grab it.
Okay,
What's
all
that?
right. Y'all, wait till y'all get this calendar. You see my name up there, April 7th. Make sure you go to the month of April, and on the 7th, and you're going to see my name on April 7th. Because I'm a star.
Now I hope y'all can see it. Y'all know it's a little dark in my living room. So that's the cover. Of course, we focus on some music and mental health for the month of January. And we gonna go to Toya's month.
Let's go to my month. Our month. It's our month.
Yes, our month. Yes, and her name is there.
Look at that, y'all. Y'all see my name. Y'all better say my name.
But this was my favorite too, because I really focused on like play therapy. And
Yeah.
there's not a lot of Black uh therapists out there that specialize in play therapy. So again, we're needed in those areas. We
I
really
have
are.
one of my sorority sisters is a play therapist. So I'll put her information down there also.
Okay.
I just think it's important to see people that look like you and I doing different things. What I love about the calendar, so I joke around about Black people ain't going to therapy, but I say that with a little bit of truth, because you
Right.
and I both know that there's somebody right now sitting out there who knows they need a therapist, but they ain't going. What I
Right.
love about your calendar is you have practical things that people can do without the help of a therapist or a counselor. Now, I believe wholeheartedly in therapy. You know,
Right.
everybody in my family been in therapy. Me, both maturing, we all in therapy. We need it. Everybody needs it. If
Yes.
I wish I could get my mama to go. So I believe in therapy 100%. But when I saw your calendar and I saw some of the things, it's like, this is, music therapy. Who thinks of music as therapy? But I tell people, a couple of shows ago, I had said, hey, you can use your senses to increase your vibration. That's just
Definitely can.
therapy.
Yep, it sure is. It really is. Yeah, because I know I had to do it. I had a whole Ryan Leslie blast concert,
Listen, we
this
need to
past.
we need to drop those mental health playlists in there. What's your mental
Yes.
health playlist so we can do that? But your calendar really speaks to um one, it has some really nice pictures. Now, I haven't seen the 2021 calendar. I saw the 2020 calendar. I haven't seen the
Mm-hmm.
2021 calendar, but it had people that look like me up there. I said, oh, look at this calendar with some brown people.
Yes, you got to see us. We got to be seen.
And
Like,
representation is important. So I think seeing your face and that hair on that
yes.
calendar. I think you had a very handsome black man in the calendar last time. You know,
Yeah.
I think seeing that is important, and but also having the practical things, just something to think about, the resources
Mhm.
that people can go to. I mean, to me, I fell in love with it because I thought I have never seen a black calendar geared towards mental health before. I'd never seen it before.
Mhm. Yeah, and I don't think I have either. All of my 30 years.
So, how'd you come up with the idea of putting all of this, the silent speaks, into a calendar format? Where did that even come from?
Well, it was just, just having conversation with friends, and I was like, what other ways can I put this information out there? And then just thinking like a everyday item that we use. Now I know people was like, oh, do people still use calendars? And I was like, well, I know I do, and especially with us working from home.
I got a whole planner right here,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, working from home, needing it. But I was like, this is something you're more likely would look at every day. I know we probably don't look at it as much as we look at our phones, but it was like, okay, this is something that I can be like, oh, okay, this is what this month is about. And I know for me, when I had started writing my content, I was trying to do weekly stuff, and it gets to be a little challenging, and I try to stay on a specific topic. So I was like, this would probably be a good idea to put this on something that you're gonna look at every day.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
You're reading it, you're gonna see it over and over and over and over again, and it just might be something in there that is for you, that resonates with you. So that's just talking with friends and just trying to figure out other ways to get the information out there. I know a lot of times people don't want to read long posts and want to read no book. They just want to let me read a couple of things and I'm good, get
right.
what I need and keep it moving.
Well, I love your calendar. It's very informational. It's easy to read because a lot of times people in the mental health world be saying all kinds of shit. What are you talking about? I don't just tell me I need to take this pill or tell me to go for a walk. I don't need you to say, well, the treatment modality that's best for you under these circumstances, along with your maladaptive behavior. Stop it. Don't do that. Tell me to go outside. Tell me to get some
That
sunshine.
be us coming straight out of school. That's what that be.
See, I'm gonna need y'all. Tell the babies don't do that. Tell them come out of school and talk plain to me.
We too. We have to be like, oh, we ain't in school no more.
No,
We be ourselves. We can code switch now. Here we go.
right? No, don't tell the babies don't. We're not code switching in 2021, child. We keeping it plain. I think your
We
calendar does a
keeping it
really good
plain.
job of keeping it plain and making sure that people can understand. And even though it's created by a black woman, to target the black demographic, it is very universal. That's what I also
Right.
appreciate about it.
Definitely, definitely. I know when you get to that month of November, you're gonna like that too. Cause that's for our veterans. And I think what's really special about this calendar this year was just dedicating it to my grandfather, because he's a Vietnam veteran, and just listening to his story and really sitting down and being like, wow, I couldn't imagine at 19 you done lived in this small rural area. Now they finna fly you out somewhere you probably ain't never seen on TV.
Right.
Like that's a big deal. It's
Yeah.
a big deal. So yeah, so this year was dedicated to him. You'll see him in his 64 in his car.
Not 64, girl, 1964. We taking it back, way back. Let me
Yes,
tell you what I'm proud of. Let me tell you what I'm really
yes,
proud of. I'm proud of you because I specifically remember you and I having a conversation. And in that conversation, you said, I don't know about 2021. I already got the calendar. I don't know about 2021. And so I was like, girl, you need to spotlight everybody, spotlight men, spotlight women, spotlight veterans, spotlight, put
right.
me in there. And you literally said, that's a good idea. I like that idea. I wanna spotlight. And my granddad is a veteran. Well, I need to make sure that I tell my granddaddy's story. I
Yeah.
remember you saying that,
Mhm.
and saying, yeah, Toy, I'm gonna put your name in there. And I was like, girl, please, you ain't gonna put my name on my calendar, you know? And I just remember us having this in-depth conversation, and the fact that you continued on, even though, the sales were not as robust as we wanted in 2020, you were like, bump y'all, I'm gonna make my calendar anyway, and I'm gonna do my
Yeah.
calendar my way.
Yes, yes. And it is my baby. Like I feel like this is my gift and what I want to give to whomever needs it. And wherever it's supposed to go, it will go. That's been my attitude, recently, cuz we get caught up in comparing ourselves and seeing stuff on social media. I'm like, let me stay in my lane and what I know, cuz we be knowing.
We be knowing. That's gonna be our hashtag. We gonna put it on the shirt. We be knowing.
We be knowing. So, I it's something that I definitely want to continue to do. Definitely. Definitely.
I'm just so proud of you. I think it's wonderful. As a matter of
Thank
fact, look,
you.
I'm gonna have to scrape my little duckies together so I can buy. I still don't have my calendar, so I'm gonna buy a calendar.
Okay.
And I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna buy two calendars, and then I'm gonna have somebody raffle it off somehow. I haven't figured out how yet, but I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna
Okay.
buy two calendars and then just kind of raffle it off and give it to somebody who maybe they follow you on social media. How about we do that? Okay, how about
I
we do that?
love
This is
that.
what we're gonna do. So the whoever likes your social media page and likes my social media page and shares this interview,
Okay.
I will buy them a calendar. So three things. They gotta prove they done all three. So you gotta
Okay.
prove that you went to Wellness on the Go and like that page.
So
And they can
like,
comment in the bottom, right? They can comment and say, I came here from the HEARTWORK video. They need to go
okay.
to Silent Speaks. Is it Silent Speaks?
Silent Speaks Back on IG, if
Silent
for
Speaks
my
back.
IG people, and then if you go to Facebook, you could just type in Silent Speaks and you'll see me. You'll see my face.
You see that baby face right there. So we got now both of us got Facebook pages, both of us got IG pages. So that's five things y'all need to do. Okay. I didn't increase it from one thing to five. So y'all want this calendar. Listen, them calendars, they worth every bit of it. So if you only got to do five things to get this free calendar, so you need to like Silent Speaks, Silent Speaks Back on IG and Silent Speaks on Facebook. You need to like Wellness on the Go. Most of them are already on Wellness on the Go, so that's a
Okay.
given. And go to my Instagram, Wellness on the Go. You got to make sure we know that you're here for the calendar. And then
Right.
I want you to share this interview somewhere. I don't care where you share it. Share
All
it with somebody.
right. Right.
Share it. And the person who does that and can prove to me that they did those five things, I will buy a calendar. I'm gonna have Malaekia get it sent directly to you. So
Yeah.
that's what I would like to do for you because I think it's important that we support Black business. I think it's important that we encourage entrepreneurship. And I think it's important to get your product in the hands of the people who need it.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And one more thing, because I know people be asking, they be like, you can't go and like your page, just comment. Just go in, on Silent Speak and on the Facebook page, and you can write on the wall. You comment on some resource that's on there, some
Yeah, put
information.
some resources, whatever y'all want to do. Tell
Yeah,
your story, child. Tell us how Silent Speaks, resonates with you. What is it
right.
about that, that resonates with you? I just think that people need to hear a different perspective. Like, people need to see your perspective, hear your perspective, see your face, see that hair. And look, y'all, that's all her hair too. It is. That's all
Yes,
her
it's
hair.
all mine.
And there's a lot of it. It's kind of shrunken in. Did you just wash it? What'd
Oh,
you do?
the shrinkage be real. You
Yeah,
know.
this kind of patted down, but that thing be out there
It
looking like
does.
Foxy Cleopatra.
I love it. Gotta love it.
So I think I want to kind of wrap things up with um asking you like what's next for you. I mean, I know you're going to continue to do your work in the community. And somebody asked me when I said come on the show, they were like, well, I don't have my own business, or I don't, I'm not a yoga teacher, and I'm not necessarily looking for people who are entrepreneurs, even though you are an entrepreneur. The fact that you are a social worker and you're providing that service to the community is what I'm drawn to. So
Mhm.
what's next for you, in the social
Ooh.
work world, in the Silent Speaks world? What's going on?
Well, definitely in the social work world, just for me is really just on my job is just making sure that I'm still remaining confident in my position, because I mean you are faced with a lot of changes and those changes come fast, and you just got to be like, all right, let me roll with this, and make sure I'm still able to, do my job. But as far as, like I said, just right now, really working on my supervision hours so that I can get this full licensure, sit down and take that exam. Um, my goal is to only take it once because that's expensive. Pass on the first try.
We're gonna claim that one and done. One
One
and done.
time. Yeah, because I can't be giving y'all all my money. But and just for silent speaks, it's just to continue, like I said, on writing my content and just being consistent with that, with the topics each week. I know a lot of times it's a lot of information that can be flowing through our social media, so sometimes it's missed. It depends on these algorithms on Facebook and stuff. But whenever you see it, like it. If you don't see it, then you got the name where you can always go back and just visit anything that might, like I said, resonate with you, that might be useful. And I've been thinking about some other things. I'm glad that you brought up, the calendar raffle, because there are things that I want to do for people who have supported me during the calendar, whether that's a self-care, you know basket with practical things in their items. Yes, like that. There we go. There we go. Get us some shea butter.
Listen.
Yes. So just doing things like that. I want to be able to at least do that this year, to give back in that way. Especially because it was people like really pushing me, and really just encouraging me to be like, do it. You gotta put it out there. So that's next for me, and going to therapy tomorrow at 10 a.m.
You better say it. You better say it.
Yes,
Get
yes.
that
So
therapy. And I think it's so beautiful that you say that out loud, because a lot of times we are ashamed to say I go to therapy, or I need help, or I'm struggling. And I love you for saying
mhm.
I got a therapy appointment. I'm a social worker, but I'm going to therapy tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Exactly, exactly. She gonna see me early.
I had a counselor tell me years ago, every good counselor has a counselor.
Exactly,
And I was
exactly.
like, oh, really? And she's like, oh, yeah, you just being a human causes you to feel some kind of way about yourself and your life. So if you are helping other humans, and if you're good at it, you're going to take some of that on. And
Exactly.
sometimes, and she said to me, sometimes you can't tell if this is your issue or their issue. So you
Thank
need
you.
that therapist to kind of help keep you on track so you can help other people. So when I became a coach, I remember what she said, and I decided, I'm going to always have a coach. So every good coach has a coach.
Right. There
So,
we go.
child,
We
I
all
got a
need it.
financial coach, I got a business coach, I got my friend Tiffany is my diaspora nutrition coach. Like, I got coaches all over the place. Matter of
That's
fact,
it.
you don't even know you my coach. You my coach.
That's right. That's right. I'm telling you, we got our ancestors. I'm trying to tell you, we got to make sure we take care of that, because we exchange energy every day. And you
Yeah,
got to make sure, like you said, you don't know if what you feeling is somebody else stuff. So let me go
right.
sort this out, and do something about this.
So last thing before we wrap up, I know I said that twice already, but me and you can talk for hours. These people gonna be here on midnight tonight. We still be talking. So let's drop some hard work on the people who may not go to therapy, who may not. And let's be real, not everybody has the time or the financial
Right.
ability to go see a therapist. It's just not realistic. As much as I say what I say, I understand that there is a certain demographic for whatever reason. It might be 400 years of oppression, it might be
Right.
socioeconomic issues, it might be a mindset, whatever. They're not there. So you mentioned journaling as a outlet. What are some? Let's give the people a couple 3 4 things that they could do outside of going to see a therapist that might contribute to them raising their vibration, feeling a little bit better about themselves, getting to a point to where they can kind of get through the getting through.
Right, right. Okay, I like that. So I know for some people do need, like some writing prompts and ways to guide them when they're writing. Sometimes you don't have much to say, like when you're having so many thoughts. um it's like, how do I put this on paper? Even if it's just one word that you can just write, it doesn't have to be complete sentences.
Hmm.
Even if you wrote the word I'm angry. You know how they used to do when we was in, you get tension, you got to write something over and over and over and over again. Even if you have to do that, it's something about pen to paper. Again, that energy, putting it on paper and saying, you know what, I'm getting this out some type of way. Because if
And it
y'all
can be
don't,
however they need to say it. You can write, y'all got me effed up.
you can. If you like the color, there's books, there's like
Oh yeah.
books on Amazon where it's got cuss words in it. You can color the cuss words. Is that what you want to do? I mean, I was like, I need to get one of those. So, I mean, there's so many things. You mentioned it early, your mental health playlist was something that, speaks to what you may be feeling, but gets you hype. Now I ain't gonna say go out here and be committing no crimes, nothing now.
We're gonna do
We ain't
that.
doing none of that.
We're
But
gonna do that.
feel good. And another thing that we probably don't do as often, and I've been being more intentional about this, is looking at what's going well, and that's that strength-based perspective. Clark Atlanta,
Mm.
thank you for that. But just writing down, like, what went well in your day or went okay. Like, what are some things that you are just grateful for? And it can be very, very small. It don't have to be these large things. Like, hey, I was able to get up and made my tea for the morning and actually sit there and drink it. Just
Mm.
those small things. And when you start doing that, those things add up, and you like, man, it ain't that bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And you just so I haven't done a gratitude for today. I normally at some point throughout the day I try to stop and say what I'm thankful for. I need to get back on the bus. I was getting on Big Shirley and doing my little gratitude. I need to get back on Shirley and do that. So, but I'm gonna do it right now. And you just reminded me. So thank you.
Hmm.
About I used to say to my kids when they were little, instead of saying what's wrong with you, I would say what's right with you.
Exactly.
Right? And that changes the whole dynamic. So what's right with me today, right before we jumped on the call, I refinanced my house, got a
All right
2.75 interest rate.
now. Hey.
Okay. The gentleman who did my closing and the notary met me at Panera Bread to do the closing. And because he was running late and he had to push it back and kept pushing it around, he jokingly said, hey, you know what? It's so late, I'm gonna have to take you to dinner. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, whatever. Come on, let's get this paperwork. Do you know that this man did all my paperwork? And he was like, thank you so much for your service. Thank you. I appreciate you for being so flexible and so nice about everything today. Go ahead and have dinner on me. Gave me $20 and left.
Hey, see,
He just paid for me and my child to have dinner, honey.
there
That
you
is what's right
go.
with me. So that is my moment of gratitude. So
There
thank
you
you for
go.
reminding me to be grateful today and every day.
Yes, yes. And I know some days it's hard, but when
Mhm.
you get that time, you like, let me think about what's going right.
Look, me, I'm grateful that I'm gonna sit here and think. I'm just gonna be grateful to sit here and think. That's all I'm grateful for. That's all I got the energy to be grateful for right now.
Right, right. I know, like, everybody was like, "Oh, what you grateful for?" 2020 was rough. I was like, "I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad
Right.
for
I
this
made it.
over. I made it.
I'm grateful I've made it. So that's
Right.
good. And I know that's right. So one of the things that I think you and I will probably work on is those writing prompts, because I think it's really
Yeah.
important to have prompts and prompts that are relevant to us.
Right.
Like when I said, you got me effed up, somebody might be like, oh, I didn't know I could write that. I just was going to write, I'm sad, I'm angry. No, man, we're going to write how we talk.
Right how you talk. Right what you feel. Put
And
it
so
in
I
there.
think you and I can work on some writing prompts to help the people, be able to get some of those things out. And we'll talk about some other self-care essentials. Of course, you're gonna have to come back and talk some more as we do some more
Yeah.
stuff. Um,
We will.
but I want to kind of wrap things up with you reminding the people how they can get your calendar, how they can get in contact with you, and any parting words you have for the folks who are watching.
Okay, so again, if you want to follow me on IG, that's Silent Speaks Back. And you find me there on Facebook. It's just regular profile. It has Silent Speaks. And you'll be able to see the links in some of my Facebook posts for the calendar. And it's through Shopify. That's where you'll find me. And as far as parting words, I felt like this was great here. Like I really enjoyed just having this conversation. You asking me some questions that really made me think like, wow, I really do need to say that out loud. So I guess my parting words is being able to say like with silent speech, just having the courage to now say those things,
Hmm.
and be able to just feel what you need. I know a lot of times it's hard to do, but sometimes we really do have to sit in it. So feel it, sit in it, say it out loud.
Let me write this down. Feel it, sit in it,
Say it out
say
loud.
it out loud. All right, so I'm gonna give you credit for that twice, then it's mine.
Okay.
It's-
I appreciate that.
no
I
problem, child. No
appreciate
problem. Anytime,
it.
that's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Well, of course, like I love you. Like you know
Love
how
you
much I
too.
appreciate our friendship, and you know how much you mean to me. And I'm just proud of you and that calendar. And I'm thankful that you took a moment to, come jump on our hard work and share with the people some of your Black girl magic. I appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate your energy too. It's always love over here. And hey, we'll do it again.
We're gonna make it do what it do. People just don't know. That see, I think people are used to you and your energy over here and me and
Yeah,
my energy over here. But then
right.
when that thing come together,
You don't know what
girl,
to do.
listen, I don't think they're ready for this jelly. Listen,
Not
I
too
don't
Aries. Not no.
no
We gonna burn some stuff up.
girl. Listen, when our birthdays come along, we're gonna have to do something.
We will. We definitely have to do something.
Something. I've been saying, look, I've been telling my other homegirl that we're gonna have like a twerkathon on Zoom, a Zoom twerktastic, and we ain't done it yet, but we gotta do something. And you know
Well,
what?
hey, I've been working out, so make sure my knees ready. So cause right now they
You
be
you a
they be
millennial though,
talking
so
like bubble wrap.
no, you still young. So you got them 30-year-old knees. You can still do the busted challenge. I'm too old for that. My children be like, mother, that is inappropriate behavior. So I can't, my
Oh, you
my
gonna have some fun too.
oh, look, okay, so here's the rules. When we get out, here's the rules, okay? There's no cameras,
No cameras. Okay. No cameras. All
no
right, we
cameras,
we can do that.
and we got to create a space to where whatever happens with the Aries stays with the Aries. I'm just saying.
Okay. Okay. I'm cool with that. I can do that.
So, it might be, what's that song? We're gonna make it a night to remember. We gonna make it a night to remember. Because, I know you feel your energy increasing this time of year, right? I know you feel,
I do.
the surge coming back. Tonight is a full moon. I don't know if you know tonight
Mm-hmm.
is a full moon. So that's part of it. But those of us who are Aries and who believe in full moon energy, sign
Yeah.
energy, there's something special that's going on this time of year.
I'm glad for it. Cause
I'm so grateful for it. And I want us to harness it. I want us to harness it. Like,
right.
I'm tired of talking about how effed up 2020 was. I don't want to talk about that no more.
Right. Right.
Let's talk about what's coming good in 2021. And I think
That's
that,
right.
you and some of my other friends coming on hard work and just showing your magic and showing your gratitude and your hope for the future is one of the things that's contributing to that. If you can tap into that as well as some of this full moon energy,
Right.
yeah,
That's all right. Tell you gonna burn
yeah,
some
that's gonna be
stuff
nothing but
up.
all right. Now, why didn't you tell me to record this? We had a whole conversation. I didn't record it.
Oh, I thought it was, but it still say live on Facebook.
It's live, but I was gonna put it on
Oh,
YouTube and be able to share it with people who might not be on Facebook.
oh
Girl,
man, my bad. We gonna have to redo.
said, okay, I'm pretty sure before I hit, when we first jumped on, I said, okay, I'm gonna share it and I'm gonna record it. And then went right on and then started talking. I saw your face. I was like, hey girl, let's talk. I forgot. That's my bad too.
It's all right. We
But we're
gonna
gonna
do it
figure out a
again.
way to get this thing downloaded from Facebook so that you can share it on. Did you put it on your Silent Speaks page or is it on your personal page?
I could put it on both.
Yeah. We want to
Yeah.
figure out a way to make sure we share it so that people can get all this black girl magic. This
All
Aries
right.
black girl magic. They don't know.
That's
And look, this is a toned down version of
what I'm
us.
saying. This is toned down. Like we on our best behavior.
We
So
are. I'm so proud of us. Look at us.
me too. Oh well, I enjoyed this as always.
Well, thank you, honey child. Thank you. And I want to thank anybody who's showing up. I want to thank anybody who's watching us live or who comes back and watches us on the replay. Remember the 25% off Pampered Chef products. Remember the 20% off your Working Girl body butter if you go get the shea butter, cocoa butter, body butter. You can do that. Remember, if you like all of our social media and tell us where you came from, I will send you one of the Silent Speaks calendars. And remember to show some gratitude, like Malaekia said, or My May. You know where I get My May from? What's that? Remember that movie, that Issa Rae movie?
Which one, you talking about? Which one?
The
Oh
one,
yeah, the photograph.
the photograph.
Yeah.
The mama will always, when she would read a letter, she would say, My May.
Yes.
Okay, so now it's just like My May.
It stuck with me. See, I like that.
It is so You're the
I
only
like that.
person I know that I can say that to, that I feel comfortable enough saying it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So that's where I get that from. But anyway, I keep saying I'm gonna wrap this thing up, child. So thank you for coming to the show.
No
Thank you
problem.
for being here. I want to thank everybody for popping in, tuning in. Let me know if you're watching live, if you're watching the replay. And like I say every week, I want you guys to remember to think good thoughts, say good words, and do good things. Until next Thursday at 8:30, be safe and ashe. Good
All
night, y'all.
right. Good
Good night,
night.
sis.
Bye.